Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it looks like I have my other one up, my backup sound up. Let me look at this.
Hello, everyone. Make sure everyone can see if you want to wait till about what to get the best possible outcome. All right, let me look. How do you to open up space?
Guys, the video is here on YouTube, and it sounds, the sound's okay. I don't know. Maybe it was something with the stream or nothing. But I'm looking at the the beginning of the show here, and it looks okay. Oh, I see what happened. I see what happened. I see what happened. I see what happened. Okay, once I brought this in, we have to. I'm sorry, everybody. This is like tough. Getting this stuff done. So let me go back and bring everybody back in. Go to the control room. I'm live now. Hi. Let me see. No. Hi. You on channel? Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I just saw that Nature Love piece, and what it is, it was just doubling up on the audio. It was doubling up on the audio from the computer and then from me, and that's why I was getting that problem. I am so sorry, everybody. I couldn't hear it through my headset. Really? The camera's not working now? Seriously? We were going so good. We were going so good. All right, it flickered and then it came back. All right, we're set. We're back. We're set. I'm using this backup audio because this one. Let me see if I can put this one back on because I know what happened. Okay. All right. Good. It's good that I don't have to go through. Well, I do have to go through up until the article, but let's go with this. The article. Okay, now can you hear it? What about now? Okay, good. I just shut the whole thing off. All right, all right. Whew. I am so sorry about that. I promise we will get all this stuff worked out. It's just the thing is, you can't test any of this stuff. The Wirecast and all that stuff that goes with YouTube. You can't test any of this stuff unless you are live, and then you have to figure out when stuff goes wrong. You have to figure out what it was like on the fly. So it's really annoying. And it's really going to be annoying for a couple more weeks until we get this thing straight. So apologies. All right, cool. Now let's go back to the article where we were. I'll reread this because that's what I was reading when it went to double. But he said this is hardly. We're referring to the salary cap restructures and all the restructures that's happened in the last week. He says this is hardly a cause for celebration. The immediate need for financial relief was one of the biggest off-season concerns and had to be addressed one way or the other. But the net results of all these restructured deals is a compromised future. In the short term, the Cowboys are in position to do business as usual for the upcoming season. In the long-term, their capacity to participate in free agency has severely been handicapped. Now, we go back to double. Now, I'm not, and I have never been a huge fan of free agency. I think that you end up overpaying for everybody during free agency. So us not having money for free agents out there doesn't bother me. But we have to get talent in here somehow. And when we're paying all these people, and we won't be able to improve in free agency that much, and we only have a select amount of draft picks, and we've been kind of average in the draft for the last few years. So it seems like we're being put in, we're mortgaging our future right now. And I'm not sure that this team is good enough for you to make those type of monetary decisions to jeopardize our future. Now, just think of it. Now our future is jeopardized because of two reasons. One is because of age. If you look at the age of wide receivers, Miles Austin is considered old. If you look at the age of linebackers, defensive ends, DeMarcus Ware is considered old. If you look at quarterbacks across the league, 33 years old is also considered old. A lot of our stars are getting older, and then we won't have money to pay for any others, and then we won't have money to pay. For instance, look at Bruce Carter. Bruce Carter's contract is coming up very soon. If he has a season like he did last year, then he's going to command huge dollars. If he can stay healthy and have the season he had, he's going to command huge dollars. Huge dollars. It's coming around the corner. Sean Lee is even closer around the corner. Somebody told me that I think Sean Lee is closer like next year. But if you think about it, he was drafted before, so I think rookies are on a 4-year contract. So I think, he has to be paid. So we have to pay for our own guys, and we have to make sure we bring some guys in the draft, which we hadn't been done. So we're putting ourselves in a position where we're forced to make the absolute correct decisions on talent, or we will be void of talent in Dallas because of this money situation. Again, I don't believe in free agency. I hate it. If we wanted Anthony Spencer, we should have paid Anthony Spencer back when we was paying Free and all those guys. We should have got him early, and pay him a less amount to keep him on your team. But now Spencer's seeing all that money. We're scrambling to cut everybody's salary so we can match that, which we should have done a long time ago if we was going to keep him. You know what I'm saying? During those 4 years when a player's on a team, you should be evaluating: do we want to keep this guy or do we not? Because I tell you what, a lot of human beings do. A lot of human beings, when it's time, it's called the fight or flight syndrome. And when it's time to put up, they go crazy and do everything right then because it's time to get paid or time to reap the whatever benefits. And you see that with players on free agent years. When they're free agent next year, they come out focused. They work hard. They train hard. They do everything because it's their money, because they got a chance to make money. So I don't trust that. When you're looking for a consistency and you're looking for a consistent football team, Dez got a contract coming up too. But when you're looking for a consistent football team, you look over the contracts 4 years, and you can see through the first 3 or so whether that player is a consistent player and he's playing at a level, the same time. Spencer hadn't done that. Spencer was an absolute monster last year. A monster. And if he played like he did last year for the first 3 years of his contract or whatever, this would not even be on the table right now. It would not be on the table. But he didn't. So therefore, you got to let him walk, because paying all that money is just going to put us in worse shape. We made our decision on Spencer. Now it's time for us to do something else. Now what would be stupid? What would be stupid is for us to, let Spencer walk and then spend a whole bunch of money on spend almost his salary on a lesser defensive end. That's no good. Find your other needs. If you got to use it to pay Romo, use it to pay Romo. Find your other needs, use it there, and then get some younger players in here to try to be a cheaper alternative for success right now. Let me go to the comments. All right. I forgot to tweet this thing out. Let me tweet it out. Shango Live. Restart. All right, now we should have things in there. Nature Loves Peace says, I think that was mentioned before is what they're getting that money anyway, regardless of play. Robbie says, I don't think restructuring contracts would hurt the Cowboys. It would put a dent in the culture around Dallas, so players would have to earn their money. Robbie, the thing about the restructuring the deals, I'm trying to read your comment. It sounds like you think that they're not getting the money. The players are still getting the money. The players are still getting the same amount of money that they signed the. There's no way the Cowboys can say, okay, you didn't play as good, let me take some of this money away and give it to somebody else and restructure your contract and give you a little bit less. That's not happening. They're moving the money and turning it into bonus money. So they're pushing it. They're pushing it basically and lowering the cap figure. And no matter what, these players are still going to have to get that money. They're still going to be paid. You know what I'm saying? Unless they're cut. And when you're cut, if you have bonus money, if you cut a player, the bonus money still has to be paid. So when you're seeing Miles Austin getting his contract restructured and they're making more bonus money, that means you're probably not going to see Miles Austin getting cut. You don't see Free getting restructured, do you? Because he might get cut. You don't. They're still waiting to see what they're doing. Where will probably get restructured, but they hadn't done it yet because they're making sure. But when you see someone get structured and they pull that money and make that money bonus money, that means that they're probably going to stay there, because if you cut that player with a whole lot of bonus money, the bonus money still has to be paid. Still has to be paid. Robbie, I see, and you saying y'all have always had talent. Y'all have always had talent. Now, I think that is one of the biggest misconceptions in the National Football universe, is the Dallas Cowboys are loaded with talent. The Dallas Cowboys talent gets, when you enter Doug Free was considered one of the better tackles in the league after he had a short stint of good play. And then, he just elevated. We paid him a lot of money, all kind of stuff. And it's just because when you're a Dallas Cowboy and you have a few good games, then you become a superstar. There was someone else not too long ago that happened to. I'm losing thought of who it is right now. But we overvalue when we're on TV a lot. When Troy Aikman and especially Chris Collinsworth and always talk up players. Oh, I was gonna Tyron Smith, another one. I got an argument last year before the season at an NFL.com article, because one of the NFL.com writers wrote an article saying Tyron Smith will be the next elite left tackle in the NFL this coming year. And I was like, whoa. But you see what I'm saying? The media and mediats and media whatever had already put our left tackle in elite left tackle status, had already written articles about him being or soon becoming elite. Not good, not very good, not solid, elite. And the player has not even taken a snap at left tackle since high school. And that is the type of misconceptions that are out there about the talent with Dallas. If you look at other teams and you look at the greatest talent evaluator out there, which is severely flawed, the NFL draft and NFL combine. That is the most extensive thing in sports. Nothing is close to that, of evaluating talent. They turn over everything. When you look at that and you see how many draft picks we have left on this football team, especially this coming year, if Felix and Mike Jenkins leave, we only have like a sprinkle of first rounders, a couple here and there, and we don't have. Yes, there's Miles Austin, yes, there's Tony Romo, yes, there's those situations, but that's not the norm, and that will never be the norm. And in Dallas, we like for that to be. We like to go out and see if we can get another free agent player that's going to be the greatest in the world. That's why the whole Andre Holmes fiasco was going on last year with their love with this guy, because he has so many. We keep doing that, and we need to buckle in on this draft thing, and buckle in on this combine thing, and find out what teams like Philadelphia and not Philadelphia, maybe kind of Philadelphia. But they do decent in the draft. But New England, teams that Pittsburgh, the Ravens, teams that successfully year in year out do well in the draft and master that science. Other than mastering the science of trying to catch things that fall through the cracks. So I just don't think there's that overwhelming amount of talent in Dallas. We have a very good quarterback that can come back on you at the end of the game. We've got a good running back. We've got one of the best receivers I've ever seen in my life. We've got one of the best pass rushers I've ever seen in my life. But in other areas, defensive tackle, safety, after our second corner, after Claiborne, after our second linebacker Bruce Carter, we have it dropped severely. It doesn't just taper off a little bit. You look at a team like the 49ers, they're from their top and their second tier, it just drops just a little bit. They're loaded with talent. They're loaded with top round draft picks that can't get on the field because the guy in front of them is so good. Seattle's moving into that area. Probably after this draft, they'll be like that when they're loaded with talent. That's not us. We have some talent. We have some real talented pieces. Where Romo, Witten, Dez, Murray, Carr, and then after that, it just starts tapering off. So that's a big misconception. I'm gonna start trying to push it out as much as I can this year because I want people to know how bad we need talent in Dallas. All right. We're rolling now. We were rolling now. Get rid of Romo. I tried 2 years ago. Romo ain't going nowhere. So the Cowboys playing the hardest division in football. Yeah, maybe. No, Robbie, that NFC West. That NFC West ain't no joke. I'm here to tell you. Don't think we're going to walk in and smack the heck out of the Rams. The Rams, woohoo. Space Boogie hit a great point here. Space Boogie says, why keep the same players for the same result? Let them go. It's not working. This is what I'm talking about. What he just said, what Space Boogie just said right there. He says, why do the same thing with the same results? And my thing is you have these players, the Ware, the Romo, the Witten, that have not been able to get it done. They have not in much better situations. They have not been able to get it done. Why do you take a chance in mortgaging your future, restructuring all these deals to bring talent in this year? Because I'm sure we're going to make some kind of splash in free agents. To bring the talent in this year for another run, and we can't crack the 8-8 level. I could understand if we were getting to the divisional, even the conference or divisional championships in the playoffs, and we bring these guys back and try to do it again. I can see that because you're there. You're there and you lose out for some reason. We bank on we were almost in the playoffs. And if you get in the playoffs, anything can happen. Is that really worth mortgaging your franchise? Saying to yourself, if we get to the playoffs, anything can happen? Is that worth it? Or is it smarter to reevaluate your entire football team and start putting the building blocks together for a strong franchise that will last for years to come? To me, that seems like the smartest route. But we're going to still do the same thing with the same thing. And my prediction for next year is going to be 8-8, 9-7. Yeah, Rutger hit you with the NFC West, I believe so. Well, NGTK 1000 asks if these signing bonuses are going against the cap, and I think the only way the bonuses, I think they do. I think they work with the cap, but the only thing that I know for sure about the bonuses is if you pay someone, say, $10 million in bonuses, in bonus money, and he's cut, then that $10 million still has to be paid for that player. And that's why you've seen in Dallas several times of us paying players when they're, I mean, we paid T.O. for years. You know, we paid, you know, and we're still paying players after they leave the team. And that's the and that's what bonuses do for you. And again, it's the same old thing we've been doing as far as structuring the organization that hadn't worked in the past. And we're going to try that same formula again of loading up players, older players at that, older players with signing bonuses. Update. A lot of people talking here. I'm trying to get to everybody. Yep, DJ L. Philly says for the Cowboys, it's good for now, but it will hurt you guys in the future. I hope not. I hope we can figure out how to not make this hurt in the future. But like I said in the intro, and that it's going to be in the other video, common sense tells us that something is going to happen in the future as a result of all these re-signings. Wow, yeah, NGTK 1000 says we would have overpaid. And just think, man, that's a blessing, us not getting Nnamdi. He would have sucked. We would have never gotten Mo because of Nnamdi there, and we would have ended up paying him a lot of money. So it was very fortunate that we missed out on that situation. Thank you, Philadelphia. Dave 10 Eagle asks, do you think y'all will need to fill the problems in free agency or draft? I'm all about the draft. I'm all about the draft. You can find talented players. You can mold them into your system, and you can keep them around for a minute, and you don't have to pay them ungodly amounts of money. In free agency, for instance, we spent a lot of money. And Jerry Jones told you this over and over again. We spent a whole lot of money in free agency on our offensive line. You heard him say it. We invested in our offensive line, and we did. We invested a lot of money in our offensive line. But we got average players for all that money. Livens and McKenzie, and I was telling people at training camp, when everybody was getting hyped up on, and that's what's going to happen this year. We're going to sign a few average to below average players to a lot of money, and the whole fan base is going to get excited on them. And I was saying that out in training camp, and everyone said, well, it might work. Because yeah, it might, but that is not a smart strategy to go out and pay a lot of money to Livens or to McKenzie, especially when their previous team was trying to replace them, or they did replace McKenzie in Carolina, and if you don't consider those teams, Carolina and Cincinnati, better than yours, then why do it? But we're going to do it again this year. We're going to do it because it's going to look good. We might get a safety, or we might get some kind of flashy name or a flashy person, and put them out there and say, okay, this is going to be the difference, and we end up 8-8. And we'll end up 8-8, not because our quarterback, not because of our defense, not because of play calling, not because of all those stuff we blame. We're going to be 8-8 because that's what we are, an average run franchise. From the top, we're run very average. There's nothing special about our front office. They don't do anything special. You know what I'm saying? So they are just keeping, it looks like to me, and from the outside looking in, it looks like they're just the average business that's trying to keep their head above water and keep the ship moving. There's no commitment to anything. The only commitment it is to keep the ship moving. That's deep right there, people. We're maintaining. And all these restructures right now, whatever, it looks like we're still maintaining. It's not like we're trying to go up. Because sometimes you got to go down to get your momentum to go up. But when you're flatline, it's just a little incline. It's tough. Next, D. Harrison, what's up, man? The Cowboys are the only team in the NFL to employ a part-time general manager. How can the team expect to? How can you expect to be better than the competition when you put half the work as other teams? Exactly. I said that over and over and over, and D. Harrison, that makes the most sense in the world. Why? Oh, why? If I'm trying to do this thing show, you guys have no idea how hard it is to be able to do this, to be able to read as much stuff, to have as much stuff in your mind and send it out or whatever. It's hard to do this. But when I was out there in the professional world a couple of years ago and building sites and stuff for doctors and things or whatnot, it was taking my time away. I would still read Dallas. I would still know what was going on. But I was not anywhere near as close as I am right now to the football team. Nowhere near. So it's like when you split yourself and you're doing this over here and you're trying to do this over here also, it's gonna be an issue somewhere. You gotta focus completely. Oh, and by the way, I'm focused completely right here for a minute. Robbie 818 is yelling at Rutger because I'm tired of you Cowboy fans saying get rid of Romo. Y'all forgot how it looked when y'all replaced Quincy Carter. You know what, man? I mean, that argument it's starting to really disgust me. You want to go back to Quincy Carter? Oh, you must have forgotten the Quincy Carter days. It's stupid. You know why? Because we've done nothing. We've done nothing greater than the Quincy Carter days than allow you to jump up and down certain times in games to be exciting. Oh, we're more exciting than we were during the Quincy Carter days. Oh, we run up and down the field and we score touchdowns now. We score a whole bunch of touchdowns, but we ain't done a thing greater in the broad scheme of things. We ain't done a thing greater than we did those years. And then secondly, you got an organization that will not invest in a quarterback. I think it was Eggman, Quincy Carter, Stephen McGee. I think those are the only draft picks. I may be missing one, but I think those are the only draft picks. So when you're saying, oh, it must have been hard, you must have forgot how hard it was. It's hard. Everybody's so bent out of shape on how hard it is to find a quarterback. You know how hard it is? You know why it's so hard for you to find a quarterback? It's so hard because you got an owner that was trying to find a deal. He finally found one in Romo, but he's trying to find a deal anywhere you go, going on baseball fields with Drew Henson, Chad Hutchinson, just going and getting anybody, Tony Banks, to get anybody to play quarterback. You can win. Let me tell you another thing about a quarterback. You can win without a quarterback. You can win. But how bad this team is getting because they got a good quarterback like Romo, how bad they're getting, as far as blocking and running and just all around competing because you got a quarterback that's going to score 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter to give you a chance to win the game. I don't like that either. I like a full, rounded football team. Quarterback can be a great quarterback or he can be a bus driver. It makes no difference to me. All I care about is you getting the job done. And if you got a quarterback that can get the job done with a team that can get the job done, then you got something. When you got a quarterback that can get the job done like Romo and a team that can't get the job done, you got nothing. When you got a team that can get the job done and a quarterback like Quincy Carter, you got nothing. So all that stuff got to be leveled out. So what you're saying is just you're just going tit for tat. Oh, you want to go to when we had a good team with no quarterback? Or a decent team, wasn't a good team, a decent team with no quarterback? Or would you like to have a bad team or a less than decent team with a good quarterback? It's just ridiculous. We got to focus on winning and winning only and leave out this quarterback whole, we need quarterback or it's going to be hard to find a quarterback, because a lot of teams, the whole quarterback thing's got to go. And we've got to focus on winning and whatever we can do to this organization to help it win. And right now, Romo is not winning. Romo is not winning. His stats are above average. His play sometimes is a bunch above average. But when you shake it all out, he's at an average place when it comes to production and getting things done in the NFL. 8-8, no playoffs. That's average. So we're not in much better a place than we were with Quincy Carter, in my point. Yeah, D Hart is fine. Yeah, I saw that D Harris. I talked about that last week, D Harris, about Jerry Jones saying Romo can get past with a lesser offensive line, and that's the stuff I'm talking about. That's the stuff I'm talking about. Having a lesser team just because you got a better quarterback, having a lesser team doesn't work. It leaves the same amount of void spaces. It's just the void spaces. Instead of having a void at the quarterback position, you got a void at the offensive line. And to be honest with you, to me, in my personal opinion, the offensive line is more important because it's got two responsibilities. It's got the passing game and it's got the running game. Both of them. And the offensive line is the key element on those things working. Without them, it's just not going to work. So Jerry Jones, he's just not only is he splitting his job as being a owner and a general manager at the same time, he's also a little bit nutty right now. And the things he's saying it just doesn't make any sense. And it's getting worse and worse and worse as we go on, because it's like he's living in his own delirious world, and we're like trapped inside of it and can't leave because we're loyal to the star. Someone says, why would JJ Metal IX4985? I butchered it, but I tried. Says Shango, why would JJ not re-sign Romo and grab Alex Smith and trade Romo to the Chiefs for the first rounder? Wouldn't that have been better? Actually, that's a pretty solid idea. That's a pretty solid idea. I'm sitting here thinking about it. You could have given a second round pick for Alex Smith, traded Romo to Kansas City, because if Alex Smith is going to get a second, Romo definitely will get you a first and maybe a third on that. You can get a couple of picks, and you have a quarterback that can get you to the NFC Championship game. And you would just have to use those picks to fill in the gaps at safety, fill in the gaps on the line, fill in the gaps, especially on the line, to focus. Because if you got Alex Smith, you're going to want to focus on your running game. You can get another running back with one of those picks also. That's a fun. Wow, man, that was good. That was a good job. Good job there, Uni. I just call you Uni. Robbie asked, who's my favorite player coming out of the draft? Sharif, probably. Sharif. Yeah, he impressed me the most. Sharif. Jerry needs to quit paying overhyped play. Corey Moore says Jerry needs to quit paying overhyped players based on their play for half the season. Why in the hell we pay? No, exactly. I hinted on that earlier. Exactly. It's the thing where we overvalue our talent. We do. The national media does. Everybody does. And as soon as we have 3 or 4 good games on national TV, then you're all world. Look at Kevin. Man, Kevin Ogletree was all world after the Giants. I mean, Kevin Ogletree severely went back into Kevin Ogletree stage after that Giant game. But say Kevin Ogletree had a couple more touchdowns this year or something like that, he would be completely overvalued right now. Completely. I'm kind of worried about Dwayne Harris, but I have a what do you call it? Intuition. I think Dwayne's good. It's just when you see Dwayne Harris touch the ball, you're expecting big things. So I think he's not overvalued. If it was for me, I would make sure I take care of that one. But there's a lot of them that have splashes here and there. The Doug Free splash, the Scandrick splash. That make a few good plays here and there, and then Jerry runs in with a bucket of money. That's how we run things. We did it last year with Church. And Church hadn't even performed in the regular season yet. So, Church was performing well in training camp. And we ran up there with a bucket of money. Hey, what's up, Yuma? Yeah, I agree. I don't like the free agent pool of draft of offensive linemen, but there's like 5. Who was it? Lane Johnson, Joe Gill, Cooper, the guard, Chance Warmack, and there's one more, Eric Fisher. Those 5, that was pretty good. I'm on my draft game. Those 5 I really, really, really like, but I doubt any of those 5 will fall to us at 18. If one of them fall, especially Lane Johnson, and especially the type of offensive line we want to have, Lane Johnson will be awesome on the other side of Tyron because they both will be able to move. Fisher is the same way. Fisher is, both of them are athletic, very athletic, and will look very good on the other side of Tyron Smith. And hopefully one of those will fall. But if the top of the draft is that heavy, I think there's some more quality offensive linemen below that. Crazy 11. Do we think Alex Smith will be better with the offensive line we have now? I'm not killing our offensive line like other people. Our offensive line is not good. I will say that. They're not good. But they're not the pieces of crap that people try to make them out to be. Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers operates behind a piece of crap. You know what I'm saying? At the beginning of the season, Brady was operating behind a piece of crap. They got it together up there. But there's some teams. Jay Cutler is operating behind a piece of crap. And if you go look at the offensive line stats at the NFL.com, you will see that Dallas is right there in the middle of things, while other teams are just downright crappy and give up a lot of sacks and a lot of stuff. So, will Alex Smith come in? I don't know. All I know is the last time I saw another quarterback in this offense, he did fine. And it wasn't a very good quarterback. It was just John Kitna. He did fine. So, I have not seen, for me to know, I have not seen another quarterback other than a crappy rookie like Stephen McGee. I haven't seen a NFL caliber quarterback play behind in this system and to know whether they'll suck or not. Kitna did good. And Uni hit it too again crazy. And Alex Smith would be probably more of a bus driver, which would change our focus from trying to pass the ball around all day long into grinding and scoring and playing strong defense, which I personally love. I hate the throwing the ball out. I mean, most of you do because it makes you jump up and down and stuff. But me, I like to grind out, punch you in the face all game long until when it's the fourth quarter, you're like, man, please don't touch me no more. Please, I'm done. I like beating somebody down like that, not the through the air type stuff. Curcino said pick up a running back in free agency or draft. It doesn't matter to me. I would rather get one in the draft, but as long as you get somebody in free agency. I was going to talk about it earlier, but Michael Turner is one guy that I was going to talk about as far as free agency question. He could be one guy out there that could come in and help out with the DeMarco Murray situation because we can keep Dunbar. Dunbar can be our speedy back and whatever, but we'll need somebody that will be able to go in the goal lines and be a running back to lean on when Murray is not with us and things. And then Michael Turner definitely would be a backup to Murray. So it is an option, but with me watching Michael Turner last year, he looked like he didn't have much gas left. And he's saying, oh, I've got plenty left. But last year, he didn't look like Atlanta could rely on him. And more than that, he looked like he slowed the offense up. And we don't want to play that type offense. So I don't think he would be an ideal fit. But a free agent running back or a rookie running back, either one, it doesn't matter to me. Just get somebody in here for help. Phil Costa. I don't know how you guys feel about Costa, but Phil Costa got a contract extension, and I guess it's just so he can come in training camp and compete. I think it was just a little over $1 million. That's kind of cheap. If he turns out to be the starter, it will be a very good contract. So Costa's going to be there. I'm not a huge fan of his, but I'm not a huge fan of McKenzie or Cook either. Yeah, D. Harris, I heard that too about and with him wanting credit for another Super Bowl. And I talked about it in my first live show, but that Jerry Jones saying that he wants credit, and he tried to make it out as a joke. But him saying that kind of indicates where his mind is at, that he wants to win a Super Bowl so he can say, "Ha, I did it," and that is coming from a narcissistic place that's not fruitful. You know what I'm saying? Your intentions really have to be pure. When you're trying to do anything, your intentions need to be pure. You know what I'm saying? Our intentions need to be on winning. And when you put your intentions on a complete spot, to one spot, and you just focus on it, then you'll get there. It just does not seem like we're focused on that. We're focused on more of getting attention and being seen and being known as and being a star. And it just seems like different focuses. I mean, from the players all the way up to, of course, I'm talking about Jerry now, especially. His focus is not there. His focus is on getting a Super Bowl so he can say, "Ha, I told you so." You know, Romo has said those same comments. You remember the comment that Romo said? Romo said there will be a day when the people that are not on our side are going to realize and this team is going to be there one of the days ago. And you know what I'm saying? You have to decide what side you're on. He made that comment. I wish I could find it right now to say it accurately, but I think you know the comment I'm talking about. But it's like everybody has different agendas, and you don't feel that in a place like Baltimore. You don't feel that in a place like Pittsburgh. You don't feel that in other, San Francisco, other organizations that have historically won. You feel that everybody is tied into a same goal, and they still struggle. When it's not a done deal when you're tied into one focus, but it makes your chances a little bit easier if you're focused on when everybody's focused on the same goal. And it doesn't seem to be like that way in Dallas. 81 Singleton, I don't care. Jerry's not going to step down. I doubt he will. Yeah. A little bit nutty, a lot of nubby. If Jason Garrett can't coach, Lil Treyful said, if Jason Garrett can't coach up Romo, how in the world would he coach up Alex? Maybe Alex wouldn't need as much coaching as Romo. Alex is different. I think Alex's problems are a little bit different than Romo's. Alex has problems. I don't know. It seems like Alex has problems after the snap, and Romo has problems before the snap. Romo has problems with the kill, and trying to beat it because he's so focused on trying to be like a Tom Brady or a Peyton Manning. When you walk up to the line, you can see what's going on. Kill, whoa, 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 whoa. He's so focused on that he's not making the right decisions at the right time. And Alex Smith, it seems like he was having more trouble reading the field and doing those things. So they have different issues. And Jason Garrett has tried with Romo for a long time, but and it hasn't worked. So I don't know. I don't. That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know if the problem is Romo, and we don't know if the problem is Romo. We don't know if the problem is Jason Garrett. We think it's Garrett and hope it's not Romo. But we don't know. We have no idea. And all we know is that those two have been together for a long time, Romo and Garrett, and nothing has come from that. Ziggy, Yuma Cactus says Ziggy Ansah didn't train for the draft. That's ridiculous. Well, I don't like it. I wouldn't want to draft him, Yuma, just because he didn't train. But that's if you can draft him and make him continue to work out and have somebody with him, hire him a personal trainer that's going to be in his behind every day, that's going to work on getting him in top physical shape. He could possibly be a JPP, man, because he's got. That's crazy that he didn't train. And if you watched him in the combine and you hear that he didn't train, you'd lose your mind. Juha Bach brings up a guy who I haven't brought up in these live shows yet, which he just amazed me in the draft, is Margus Hunt. Margus Hunt looked. My jaw was on the ground when I'm watching him, and I was like, "Oh, I want him." Oh, you know what? It was very eerily similar to when I was watching Poe last year. I was like, "Oh my goodness, jeez, look at this guy." Whatever. Now, I didn't expect Poe. I still think Poe is at least a 2-year project. At least I wasn't expecting him to blow the socks off the world last year, but he might have that same kind of effect to me. I was like wanting Poe until I just backed off when I got closer to the draft, because I'm like, he's just a prospect. A project. He's not going to do anything for us for a while. Let's not use him. Marcus Hunt might be the same thing. We might not be in a position where we can afford someone afford a choice like Marcus Hunt, because it has so much freaking upside. So much freaking upside, but it does have a definite downside. You don't know if the guy can really play football at this level. You just don't know. And those are the type people that give the combine a bad name. When extreme athletes come in there and they start just tearing up every drill and going fast on the 40 and everything, and they just elevate themselves to being, he's going to be a great football player, and the dude just can't play football. So we'll see what Marcus Hunt. I'll be watching him just like I got an eye, like I have a little eye on Poe, but I don't think we should make that move. But I like him. Oh, sorry, Bobby Dean. You go on the other one. Tyron Smith's girlfriend said the rest of the line is a piece of crap. She tweeted that. That's funny. If I saw it, I would have retweeted it. That's funny. Exactly. Bobby Dean hits it perfectly. Hunt had a good combine number. Where's his production in SMU? And it was the same thing with Poe. Poe, we couldn't find any production from him. It was just like he was just this phenomenal athlete, but when you put him on the field, you didn't get much. Garrett would make Alex Smith. I doubt Garrett would. That's one difference. Good. Thanks for bringing that up, NGTK 1000 with Romo and Alex Smith. I don't think we would throw the ball 60 times a game with Alex Smith. I don't think, and that's something I really don't like. I don't like throwing the ball that much in a game. So that's a major difference. We'd be forced to rely on our running game, which is not a bad thing. I like being forced to work on your running game, to use your running game. However, have a quarterback that can make that pass. When during the Quincy Carter days, we didn't have a quarterback that can make that pass. You know what I'm saying? Alex Smith would have been one that can make that pass. Now he's not one that can rip your defense apart like Tony Romo can, but he will be able to make that pass when you need that pass made. And that's the all contrary. Tony Romo can rip your defense all apart, but when you need that pass, when you need that certain pass in a certain situation, a lot of times Tony Romo sends it the other way. Yeah, D. Harris, I cannot go out there on a limb. I watched too much football this year to go out there and say that our offensive line was the absolute worst in the NFL. I cannot do it. I saw some very pathetic attempts at blocking people by very elite football teams like the Green Bay Packers. And so, and it seems to be more scheme wise with them than players, because you got a All-Pro there at center that was just absolutely struggling with Jeff Saturday. So there was a lot of offensive lines that were flat out struggling. This offensive line in Dallas, they started actually doing something toward after the Baltimore game, they started doing something. So they started blocking for the run in that Baltimore game. That Baltimore game was brilliantly blocked by the offensive line. So there were certain games where they showed some promise. They didn't totally fall apart like other offensive lines have this past season. But so I just don't like us using them as a scapegoat. You know what I'm saying? They need to be better. Romo needs to be better. I mean, come on. I mean, you're gonna blame the offensive line for that interception in Washington. You're going to blame the offensive line for every single one of them, those several interceptions this year. Tony Romo needs to be better. DeMarco Murray needs to be a little bit better. And he needs to figure out how to keep himself healthy. There's a lot of improvement in a lot of positions, and a lot of people. Miles Austin got to figure out how to stay on the field. Des Bryant's got to stay in his playbook. He finally improved. From a beginning of the season that was bad, he finally improved. But he's got area to improve. But everybody lumps in this offense. Everybody's lumped everything on the offensive line, and it's more than that. It is absolutely more than that. Ziggy has insane. Yeah, Ziggy had. Yeah, Jason 345. Ziggy has insane potential. What do I think of Tavon Austin? I want him. I want Tavon Austin. I think that I actually think that Tavon Austin, if he won't be there in 18. He won't be there in 18. I'm just throwing this out there. He won't be in there in 18. But if he was there in 18, I can see a player like that being picked because he can be a receiver and he can be a Percy Harvin for us. You know what I'm saying? Running back / receiver. So if a Dexter McCluster type. If we can get somebody like that can work on our running game and in our passing game, that would be good, because then we could get a cheaper, big back for goal line back or whatever, and have him to go behind Murray, and then you have your scat back, your that can be can cover as your slot receiver, or he can be your backup running back or your third down back and things of that sort. So I would love to have, if he was there first. I think he could make more of a difference than Jonathan Cooper per se. I think he could make more of a difference on the football team. Ken John Barmer, I'm going to go through the running backs soon. I like them, but I don't know too much about them. I've been focused more on offensive line and defensive lines for the beginning of the draft process, but I'm going to go further into these running backs and positions that we need on down the road. But we need linemen now, and we need a linebacker too. I don't know why y'all don't feel we need a linebacker. We need a linebacker, and we need safeties now. So all those things that we need now, I'm focusing on, and then I'm gonna get to that running back because we do need a running back now. But I think we can wait till at least the third round or free agency for that. But all right, I'm going to wrap it up now. I apologize for the audio today. I figured out what it was, and hopefully that will never happen again. And I'll be back next Monday talking about more Cowboy stuff and as we get closer to the draft. But here we are in the summer, following Jerry's brain. That's what we do. All right, holla at you. Peace.